After months of keeping it hidden, Catherine's recent pregnancy has finally come to light, and what followed has led to the re-evaluation of the monarchy, or heartbreaking for forward confession made just after the birth of their secret fourth child, has stunned even the most loyal inside. Reuters' royal tradition, family loyalty and personal struggle collide in a story too powerful to ignore what really happened during those months of secrecy. Join us as we unravel the heavy truth that nearly shattered Catherine. How it all started. Catherine Elizabeth Middleton, better known as Kate Middleton, has become one of the most admired members of the British royal family. Many people respect her for being friendly, approachable and kind. She has always shown care and dedication and her royal duties while also staying close to her family, and holding on to her personal values. Our natural way of carrying herself and the steady way she manages her public life have helped her gain attention both in the United Kingdom and around the world. Kate was born in Reading, Berkshire, England. She was the first of 3 children born to Michael and Carol Middleton. Her parents worked hard to give Kate and her siblings the best education possible. Even though it cost a lot, they believed in giving their children the chance to do well. Kate went to Marlborough College, which is a well-known private school. She did very well in her studies and also enjoyed playing sports and joining school activities. Even at a young age, she showed strong discipline and determination, traits that would help her later in her life in the public eye. In 2001, great big and studying art history at the University of St Andrews in Scotland. That's where she met Prince William, who was also studying the same course. At first, they were just friends. They had classes together and shared accommodation with other students. Over time, their friendship slowly turned into something more. Kate gave William a lot of support, especially when he was unsure or about his studies. At one point he thought about leaving the university, but Kate encouraged him to keep going and look for better ways to handle things. For several years they kept their relationship private. This was not easy because of the media's interest in Prince William, but both of them wanted to grow their relationship away from public attention. William was especially careful because he knew what it was like to be followed by the press. By staying out of the spotlight, they had time to build a stronger connection. They focused on their friendship and slowly became even closer, though they broke up. In 2007, their love was so strong that it brought them back together again. Their engagement was announced in November 2010. William proposed during a trip to Kenya and gave Kate his mother, Princess Diana's sapphire ring. The ring was deeply meaningful, and it showed how much William valued their relationship. The proposal marked the beginning of a new chapter, not just for Kate and William, but also for the royal family. The following year, on April 29, 2011, they got married at Westminster Abbey. The wedding was grand and attracted attention from across the world. Millions of people watched it, and it became one of the biggest royal events in recent history. Kate wore a wedding dress designed by Sarah Burden for Alexander McQueen. The dress quickly became famous and showed her simple but elegant sense of style. After the wedding, she received the title Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Cambridge. This marked her full entry into royal life and came with many responsibilities from the beginning. Kate and William made sure to include Kate's family in their lives, unlike in past royal marriages where the bride's family often stayed in the background. The Middleton remained close. William respected Kate's family and helped keep them involved. Over the years, her parents and siblings were often seen at family events and even royal occasions. This helped Kate adjust better to her new life and gave her a strong support system. Even though they didn't get to see every day, their love and support kept her grounded. Kate has taken her roles seriously. She has been part of many important events. These moments helped her become a trusted and respected member of the royal family. She worked closely with senior members of the family and always appeared respectful and thoughtful. Her involvement and royal duties has shown that she is willing to take on responsibility and serve the people. For public appearances have often been praised for being graceful and sincere, but still people have sometimes compared her to Princess Diana. From the time Kate joined the royal family, there were talks about whether she could live up to Diana's image, but she never tried to copy anyone. Slowly, Kate created her own place in the royal family. She focused on what mattered to her and stayed true to her own way of doing things. Kate has also supported many causes and helped raise awareness about mental health, early childhood development and family well-being. She often chooses to work on long-term projects showing care and patience And everything she does over the years, Kate has shown that she is not just a figure in the background but an active part of the royal family. She has balanced her public role with her private life, always making time for her children and supporting her husband. She takes care of her family while still appearing at public events, showing people that she can handle both sides of her life with care and grace. Through the years, she has built a strong image of someone who is reliable, thoughtful, and loyal. Kate Middleton has grown into her role, becoming not just a royal but a respected figure in her own right, carving out a new path. Kate Middleton came from a regular background, not a royal one. Because of this, joining the royal family brought many new challenges. She was suddenly expected to live a very public life, always seen and watched by people in the media. It wasn't easy for her. One of the hardest parts was speaking in public. Unlike some royal members who always seemed confident in front of a crowd, Kate had to put in a lot of effort to get better. She was nervous at first, but over time she learned how to speak with more confidence. Her words began to feel honest and clear, showing her true personality. Her relationship with Prince Harry was once seen as warm and supportive. Alongside Prince William and later Meghan Markle, the four of them worked closely on many causes under the Royal Foundation. They focused on things that mattered deeply: supporting veterans, helping people with mental health struggles, and protecting animals. But when Harry and Meghan stepped away from royal duties in 2020, everything changed. The group was no longer the same, and it left a noticeable gap in the projects they had been doing together. Still, Kate and William carried on. They took on more responsibility and worked to keep things moving forward. Even though the shift was hard, Kate kept going with steady focus and a strong will, which helped her grow even more in her royal role. By December 2020, Kate had taken another step forward. She arranged a special Christmas carol event called All Together at Christmas during a time when people were still struggling after the COVID-19 pandemic. It was meant to lift spirits and bring people closer. During this event, Kate did something unexpected. She played the piano during a performance with singer Tom Walker. Many people didn't even know she could play. That moment felt personal than sincere. It showed another side of her, someone creative, thoughtful, and willing to share a bit more of herself with others. People connected with her more after that. She wasn't just a royal figure, she felt real and warm, and this simple act helped build even more support for her. But in 2024, things took a difficult turn. Early in the year, both Kate and King Charles had serious health issues. Kate had to stay at the London Clinic Hospital for surgery on her abdomen, while the King was also in the hospital for another condition. Their health news quickly became a focus for many as people worried and waited for updates. After some time, Kate left the hospital and returned home to mark Mother's Day. She shared a photo with her children. It showed that even in hard times, her bond with her family stayed strong. She was present as a mother and continued to hold on to that role, no matter what. Later that March, Kate shared even more personal news in a video recorded at Windsor. She told the public that she had cancer. This was not an easy moment. Speaking about her illness was incredibly hard, but she did it with honor, honesty, and strength. It was one of the most difficult points in her public life. Still, she continued her royal work in any way she could, and the public stood by her. People admired how she faced such painful challenges without losing focus. She became a symbol of strength and stability for many, showing that even those in high positions go through personal hardships. As the future Queen, Kate shaping what that role looks like in today's world. She keeps her duties in mind but does them in her own way. She makes people feel like they know her not as a distant figure, but someone who understands their world, even with all the pressure. She has found ways to stay grounded, for life is full of responsibility, but she hasn't let go of her personally values. She continues to support Prince William, prepares for what lies ahead, and builds her own path. At the same time, Kate's role as a mother remains one of her biggest priorities. With Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, she tries to give them a childhood that feels normal. This is not easy and a royal setting, but she makes time for everyday things: school drop-offs, family outings, and simple routines. She wants her children to grow up with love, understanding, and a strong sense of who they are, for her family as the base of everything, and that belief guides how she raises her kids and how she lives her life. Her interest in early childhood development also reflects this belief. She has been involved lived in several projects that focus on how young children are raised and supported. She wants to make sure all children, not just royal ones, have a strong start in life. By talking about this often and working on related programs, Kate brings attention to an important issue that affects everyone. This effort shows her care for people and her desire to help in ways that matter long term. Looking ahead, Kate's place in the royal family is becoming more important as Prince William moves closer to his future role as king. Kate will be right beside him. She has earned trust through her actions and gained respect by staying focused, steady and sincere. Her influence is growing not just because of her title, but because of how she handles everything that comes her way. There is both tradition and change in her approach, giving people something familiar, but also something new through everything. Our learning curve, her projects, her family life, and even her illness. Kate has shown that she can face anything with care, strength, and determination. She continues to be someone the public looks to with respect. Her path has not been perfect or easy, but it is always move forward with purpose. That is what makes her journey meaningful and her future role even more important. However, shocking news about Catherine has just surfaced, and it is not what the public expected. The new arrival, Catherine, known around the world as Kate Middleton, has spent many years in the public eye. People have watched her closely as she took on royal duties, supported Prince William, and raised their 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Over the years, she showed strength, patience, and kindness. Many admired how she stayed focused even when the pressure around her grew. Every move she made was watched, yet she kept going, trying to create a normal life for her children while balancing her royal responsibilities. This balance became harder to maintain early in 2025 when something very personal unfolded behind closed doors. For months, no one in the public knew that Catherine was expecting another baby. It wasn't announced in the usual way. There were no official statement, no media reports, and no early hints from royal sources. Instead, the news stayed completely hidden from view, or only those closest to the family had any idea of what was happening inside the palace. Some staff members had started to notice small changes. Catherine had stepped back from several events. She was seen less often in public, and when she did appear, she kept her distance from larger crowds. Rumors began to spread among those within royal circles. Still, the outside world had no idea that another royal child was on the way. The decision to stay private was not made lightly. After years of dealing with non-stop attention, I'm in constant stories in the press, Catherine and William wanted to protect this special time for themselves and their family. When the baby was finally born, the event did not follow royal tradition. There were no flashing cameras outside the hospital, and no formal announcement for the public. The birth reportedly took place at St Mary's Hospital in London, but not in the huge setting. Instead, it happened in a private wing away from the press. Only a small medical team and Prince William were there to support Catherine. The baby, healthy and strong, was welcomed into a world that had no idea it was waiting for their arrival. The gender and name were never shared publicly and still remain a mystery. But what happened after the baby's birth revealed something far more meaningful than any official statement could. Those close to the couple later shared that something shifted in Catherine during those first few moments after the birth. As she held her newborn in her arms, surrounded by peace and privacy, she turned to William and said something emotional. Her words were not meant for anyone else. They came from place within words spoken by a woman who had given everything she had for her family and her role. She wasn't just reacting to the birth. She was expressing something more intense, something that had likely been growing inside or for some time. The new baby symbolized more than just joy. It brought new responsibility, new pressure, and new questions about what the future would look like. Even for someone who had always handled so much with care, this moment seemed to push her further than before. For years, Catherine had managed to be both a royal figure and a loving mother. She had done school runs, appeared at charity events, greeted crowds, and stood beside her husband during official ceremonies. Yet now, with 4 children and endless royal duties, the balance felt heavier. The emotion she showed in that moment was not about weakness, it was about being real. She had allowed herself to feel overwhelmed, and that honesty made her more reliable than ever. She didn't share her feelings in public. There were no interviews or long explanations, but the people close to her saw a woman who had carried so much on her shoulders. They saw a mother who wanted to protect her children, and a wife who wanted to shield her family from the constant spotlight. This 4th child had arrived in secret, yet their presence had already changed everything. It made Catherine look at her life in a new way. Every royal expectation, every demand on her time suddenly felt heavier. She was now raising 4 children in a world where every small action could be criticized or praised, where privacy was rare and pressure was constant. Catherine's decision to keep the pregnancy private wasn't just about staying away from the media. It was about creating a small space where she could be just a mother, where she would welcome "I'm a new child" without the weight of cameras and headlines. It was a deeply personal choice made with care and carried out with determination. As life slowly returned to normal, Catherine continued her royal duties with her usual grace, but something had shifted. She now carried not only the responsibility of being a royal and a mother of 4, but also the memory of that moment, a moment where she allowed herself to feel completely and deeply far away from the eyes of the world. Meanwhile, that was not the whole story. A mother's confession. In the middle of 2025, a short, good, powerful confession from Catherine, the Princess of Wales, found its way to the public. It was shared by someone close to her, and once it reached the media, it quickly became headline news. Within hours, television programs, newspapers, and online platforms began covering it non-stop. The entire country began to pay close attention. Some reports claim she wanted to pull back from her royal duties. Others believe she was pointing out deeper problems within the royal system. The public reacted quickly. Not only were people surprised by the news of a 4th royal baby, but they were even more shocked by the fact that Catherine, often seen as composed and strong, admitted feeling exhausted and alone. Social media platforms filled with posts showing support hashtag started trending. People from all over shared kind words, saying they understood her pain. 02 to 08 mothers especially connected with her because many had felt the same way at different times in their lives, but the bigger reaction came from inside the royal family. Catherine's honest, forward confession, "I can't stand alone," started conversations that had been avoided. It became clear that something needed to change. Her place in the royal family had always been important, but now it was more than that. Since she married Prince William in 2011, Catherine had worked hard to reshape how the world saw royalty. She stayed focused on real issues like children's development, parenting, and mental health. These were not just topics she mentioned briefly. She stayed very much involved, attending events, speaking to families, and listening to people who needed help. Alongside her official duties, Catherine built a strong image as a caring and present mother. Or personal side often showed in public moments. Many remembered her brushing Charlotte's hair at a tennis match or walking patiently with Prince Louis at big events. These actions, though simple, made her more reliable. People didn't just see a royal figure, they saw a mother trying to guide our children through a very public life. King Charles III was dealing with health problems. Prince Harry remained separated from royal life. The idea of a smaller, more focused royal family was being discussed more seriously for Catherine and William. Welcoming another baby added to their already full list of responsibilities. It also carried meaning beyond just family life. It suggested a decision to keep building the future of the royal line. Fine, even as others stepped back. What made the situation more complicated was the decision to keep the birth private. There was no press release, no photos, no official word from the palace. This was unusual, especially in a family where every milestone usually comes with a public statement. Some believe the couple did it to protect the baby from too much attention. Others thought it was their way of staying in control, choosing how and when to share their personal news. Either way, the move felt different, and many noticed the change when Catherine's for simple words became public. They brought a new feeling to the entire story. It was no longer just about royalty, tradition, or duty. It was about a woman who felt worn out and needed support. These words did not come from a title or a palace. They see